Alright guys, what's going on? We got that stupid little hurricane thing going, and I've been meaning to do this since we ran the race, but this is probably one of the hardest and most focused and intense battle races that I've ever done. And it's with it was thrown up by Paul Servant, which you guys know he's the 3 with Cyber Racing, and he threw up an open truck race, which you can see. Then the information is a 90-lap race. Me and Mike didn't qualify. Obviously, me and Mike are going to be the ones rocking the Diehard Live TV Tundras. And you can see pretty much a field full of Chevrolets, minus I think one other Tundra. But we're going to go ahead here and we're going to let this play out and let you guys see who brings home the W here as we see the pace cars getting ready to take off. We're going to go ahead and get this going here. Yeah, me and Mike are the only 2 Tundras in the entire field. Everybody else is driving the Chevy. Blame it on that aero package. I'm in the 01, Mike's in the 05. Yeah, the 8 of Dana Osborne, the 99 of Tom LeVar, the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer, the 3 of Paul Servant, the 94 of Roddy Klein, the 72 of Daniel Jackson, and the 9 of Albert Pacer, who is somebody who was brought in last second, but it did give us 9 trucks. We were kind of surprised that only 9 people showed up for the race. But it ended up being a blast and probably one of the most, like I said, the most intense and hard-fought battles I've ever had in the entire time I've spent on the service with iRacing. I can't remember if we were limited on fuel or not, but I do know that we had to make either 2 or 3 pit stops. So I'm wanting to say that we were limited on fuel. You can see there, the Dan Osborne, he gets out front early on. Right now I'm content riding 3rd truck in line. 99 of the bar and Servant on the outside. Now I move up to the outside. Got these 4 of Roddy Klein. Now Mike's trying to get his way up to me so that we can hook up, but he kind of gets stalled out. The one thing that you're going to start noticing if you watch that 9 truck, can't really keep it down, or he can't keep it in the corner right. It's like it just drifts all over the place. So right now there's me added on. It's going to push the 99. Tom thought about going there. Now he ends up getting stuck 3 wide in the middle here. And of course, I'm not going to let off. I'm laying right on the back, staying as close as I can to the 3 of Paul Servant. That way when we get on the back stretch, we got the momentum here. Now we see, there's the prime example of the 9 drifting up. So now Mike is side by side with me. Tom is still stuck in the sucker hole there and almost clips the nose of the 3, but we're going to stay 3 wide as I drop down to the center now. Actually, that's Mike. It's hard to tell because we only have the same paint scheme. So I'm lined in behind Mike. Now LeVar is going to drop down to the bottom. So me and Mike are going to hook up. And we've got Dana and Paul behind us. So it's going to be 5 on 4. Actually, no, 5 on 5 at that point. No, can't be. No way possible. Yeah, it's 5 on 4. 5 on the outside and 4 on the inside. see now the 8 and the 3 are going to want to take it back 3 wide, which is fine because, like I said, I've raced with the guys from Cyber a lot, and honestly, I've learned a lot of things about plate track racing by running with these guys. Like not being afraid of the middle groove. And to see trucks 3 wide of Daytona without hitting anything is pretty freaking impressive. So it's going to be LeVar, Rittenauer, me and Mike, and then Osborne and Servant up on the top gear there. Pacer, Klein, and Jackson are kind of just hanging out in the backpack because they think we're going to wreck. I don't remember everything that happened in this race, so there very well might be a wreck that happened, but I don't remember. All I know is 90 laps is a it's pretty good distance around here, but it's what you guys are used to seeing every Saturday night when we're live with the Homestead Outlaws Speedway Series. It's kind of really hard to make it out on the top of the deck lids, but I put the logos for that on top of the truck. See, we're still 3 wide here, and you can see LeVar's even rocking the old Diehard Live. And there's where the wreck happened. I think that was a bump gone bad. I get spun around, but minor impact of the wall, everything's still good. So that does bring out a caution. I think that was a bump gone bad with Mike and Dana, I believe. Because I know, now I remember Mike owned up to that caution. I just kissed the wall there, not really too much damage. Got a little bit on the spoiler there from where contact was made. We can see the forward Roddy Klein, he's blown up. Trying to make it to pit road, but I don't think he was able to. I think he had to tow. So right now me and Dana are trying to catch the field here. Yeah, I got a little bit of a crinkle there on the right above the grill, and you can see my back spoilers just a little bit tweaked. I believe we should be catching the field here, yep. There's the field. Of course, I could see this because I'm on triple monitors, even though I'm broadcasting just my center monitor. So everybody's going to come down to pit. Obviously, I'm coming down because I want to see if I've got any repairable damage. There were 2 quick fixes for this race. And the whole night it kept bugging me because there's that little bit of black there. It looks like I'm missing my fender. That's actually black paint. Probably should have painted it blue, but then it would have done some messed up stuff, as everybody right now is on pit road. So it's going to show that messed up. I know, right? You got to see this race, Cody. The race is absolutely amazing. Right now we have the 8, he made it up pit road. The 99, he's leaving now. 72 is making his way to 9. Roddy's on pit road with blown motor. Paul just left. So you can see now we're still sitting on pit road right now. Mike had to make some sort of adjustment or whatever to his truck, so I'm good to go. So I'm taking off. And it does appear that they actually fixed all my damage, even though it was very minor. So we'll regroup back to the field again. Yep, they were actually able to fix that. I don't think I took a quick repair then. I might have just to be err on the safe side. You can hear me just rolling on the clutch there. Saving fuel. That seemed to be the thing that really determined how long you stay out. As we see, me and the three are going to come back down pit road, as well as Mike in the 05. He's coming down. And I've just got to give some props to Paul for throwing up that room. It was awesome. May have been short notice, but it was a blast. I just went for a splash and go on that one. Same with Mike. Paul actually, wow, Paul took left side tires. So that will, I believe, since we all came down, I think we're on 1 to green. That's all going to cycle us to the inside line. I'm not sure. We'll know when we get up here to the field. If they're doubled up, then we will be restarting it, and we should all be nose to tail. Yeah, lights are out on the pace car. So it'll be me, Mike, Roddy, and I believe the 3 of Paul's servant all starting on the inside groove here. This is a rerun. This is what we did on Saturday night, the one that me and Mike were talking about. Was this Saturday night? Yeah, it was. It was Saturday night because there was no race, so Paul decided to throw one up. So as you see, pace car's down. Right now we're going to take the restart here. Me and Mike are lined up. We got Paul behind us, so we know we got a good pusher until Paul fails to get back to retain it again. And you can see that 9 is just all over the place. So I went up to the top side. Mike goes up to the top side. Paul goes up to the top side. We all had something. There was no agreement because me and Mike were in our own channel in Cyber, and Paul and Dana and everybody else was in Southern Thunder. And we didn't want that to be like the strategy call come out and everybody know what we were doing. And I don't need that plugged in, so I think, yeah, Mike dropped to the inside. He's going to take Paul with him because we were trying to get around the 4. But here's where we ran into the bottleneck. The 4 and the 9, you can see the 9, he keeps dipping his left sides down on the apron, and it kept leading Mike down there, which kept slowing us up. It was killing our run. So we were trying to figure out what the hell we were going to do, because you can see the 9's blinking, and his cornering, I don't know if he's just got on a 12 and it has too much sway to it, or if he just had a ill handling setup, but he just could not keep the truck down, and he had too much shifting going on, which is what was killing things. So we're trying to set up the pass here on the 4. I'm just kind of hanging back right now, seeing how things are going to work. So right now I'm going to work with Paul. I do believe me and Paul actually do try to get 3 wide on him. I remember at one point we were like, all right, whatever. So me and Paul are doing like the weird lane shift and stuff. We'll run down the low line in the corners, then we'll drift back up to the high groove. Basically, wherever the 3 truck went, I followed. just so we had the speed and the momentum going in case something happened or a hole opened up so we could get Mike up top too and around. But it was quite laborious trying to get around these guys. And I think this is where me and Paul split the middle. We say fuck it and we're tired of it, so the hole's open. We're gonna take it. I kind of fell off there because I didn't know what the hell was going on, so I dropped back in behind Mike. So now we have Mike up on the high side, me down on the bottom. So Mike's managed to get around the 4. I'll get around the 4 because of the draft. I think Mike might have been dragging his brakes a little bit too, that way we could both get lined back up. Yep, because on the backstretch you see me swap back up to the high line. So we've cleared the 4, now we've just got to get around the 9. You see the surging coming off of the bottom line. Don't remember if another caution comes out or not. Yeah, another caution does come out. I do remember that. Don't remember what lap it happened on, but I do know that we do get a second caution. So now we've got 3, Mike and me hooked up. Dana obviously just cleared Ray for the bottom spot there. So now it's going to be the 72 of Daniel Jackson being pushed by the 3, and then me and Mike, and we got the 99 there. And I think the 9 and the 4 are gonna either lose the draft or they're just gonna fall off pace massively here. I don't think that those guys were running setups near as good as what we had. And look, you see the 9 back there all by himself. He's like just all over the fucking place. Right now, we're content just to ride. I mean, we're only 18 laps in for the race out of 90, so yeah. See Mike give a nice little shot there going into 3. Now, the one thing I gotta say is me and Mike make some killer teammates. He's the only person I know that can give me a shot anywhere on the track, and I know that I'm not going to go around because of it. So now we see the 8 has gone up. He pushed the 72 to the lead. The 72 took the bottom group, so now we're going to have the 8 and the 3, which are Southern Thunder, versus me and Mike, Team Diehard. Although it's funny, because if you look on Paul's hood, he's got a Diehard logo there on the front of the hood. Tom's got a Diehard logo across the back TV panel there on the John Deere machine. These guys love when we do the Saturday night shows, so they show their appreciation, but there's several drivers in the league that are actually running our logo on their trucks, which is actually really, really cool. Now, there's a Tuesday night league that I run in, Iron Thunder Racing League, which is basically what I just free-handed this truck paint scheme off. Mike's like, we need a Diehard live paint scheme. I was like, well, I don't have one for the fucking Tundra. So literally about 20 minutes before the race started, well, not the race, but before the session opened for practice, like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go into Photoshop, I'm going to get us a paint job done real quick. So the paint job on those Tundras are basically just a kind of a free-handed representation of what my Xfinity car is for IRTL, or ITRL, which will be starting our first race this coming Tuesday, June 5th. We'll be kicking it off at Daytona. And now you can see the run that we're getting here. see that the 4 and the 9 have completely gotten fucked by the draft here, so it's literally just going to be this front pack here. I remember doing a lot of mirror driving, but also a lot of checking up, as now we see the 3 and the 8. They're going to drop to the inside, which that's exactly what we wanted. Now Dana's going to come up and throw the infamous block, but that's okay because I wasn't lifting. As you saw right there, I gave Dana a shot and actually had to back out because I didn't lift. So now the main goal for us is to try and get Dana pushed out back in front of Paul again. That way they're not controlling both lanes and we can actually do what we want. You see there's another shot that I gave Dana going into 1. As I'm still glued to his bumper coming off of turn 2. Mike's just hanging back. I'm the one doing all the work here, trying to push him down there. As you see me leading him down there, there's a shot. I got him a little bit sideways, which brought me back up to the high groove. But I did what I wanted to do. I got him back down onto the bottom groove. So now we're gonna have the 72. He's I don't know why he went up to the 3rd groove. I think he was just regrouping. He's going to fall in behind the 99, so once again it'll just be me and Mike on the outside. And then we've got Osborne, Servant, and Rittenauer on the inside line. And I think this is actually where we smoke the 99 and the 72. They end up falling off and losing the draft as well, I'm not sure. But you can see there in the very, very background there, the 4 and the 9. I do believe this is where we back off enough where me and Mike drop down in behind the 87. Because at that point we realized it was kind of pointless to have 2 trucks versus 3. So as soon as we got clear for it, we dropped down there. It is right there. So now it's going to be a 5 truck mini freight train. As you see, Mike's got a little bit of damage there on the nose of his truck. That was from when I got into Dana there on the backstretch. They checked up a little, so right now we're just kind of cruising. But we're going back to the high side. We just kept getting runs, and then the 8 would die off. We're like, oh, crap. So we'd recycle that. But it was a constant battle the entire race. It was either 3 on 2, 2 on 3. Oh, sometimes it was 4 on 3. Or 4 on 2. Right now you can see obviously we've got the momentum. And might see the 8 drop here on the backstretch after another good run. Actually no. I was thinking about splitting the middle with the 8, but thought better of it. The whole time me and Mike were talking strategy of what to do here, and honestly I needed to stay sucked in behind another truck at that point. Because yeah, you see now the 72 and the 99 have fallen off of the lead pack, so it's literally just Paul, Dana, Ray, me, and Mike up here battling out for the win, and honestly, we're only 27 laps in, so not even a third of the way through the race yet. And this is pretty much how the rest of the race is going to play out, minus one thing that I do remember. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you've seen a lot of our cyber broadcasts, then you could probably guess what happens. finally Dana drops down to the inside, which is what we needed because you saw the tailpipe pop there out of my truck. I actually had to let up, otherwise I was going to give him too much of a shot coming off into the corner there, and it would have been aggressive goes around. But you can see the run that me and Mike have here, and he told me if I got down and clear to go, so I dropped down, which gave me the race lead into 3. And now Mike's going to fall in behind the 8. So now what we've effectively done is we have stepped in between Southern Thunder, because we got Osborne in the 8 behind me, and then Servant in the 3 behind Mike. So we've split up Southern Thunder. And I'm not sure how many laps we stay nose to tail, because I know pit stops are going to be a thing that are going to happen, seeing how I do believe we run into a long green flag run here, but we wanted to split these guys up. That way, hopefully they would all get the memo and we stay single file. Because not only, now that I'm out front, I'm the one that's punching the hole in the air and I'm burning the most fuel. But the fact that Dana and Paul had both been up there charging like that, I was able to actually conserve some fuel. Plus, it helped that me, Paul, and Mike came down on 2 to green and topped off the tank. So we had a little bit extra Sunoco race fuel in the trucks to go a little bit longer and to be able to put me in the position to be out there leading the race like this. But now that we're single file, it's going to come down to how hard these guys are pushing each other and how hot the trucks get, because honestly, when you get them stuck together in a single line, they get warm pretty quick. I know our setup was pretty good. And the only thing that I will mention is the last lap of this race. I don't know how Mike's truck held together because his temperature, his water temp was at 304. Either water or oil. But it was at 304, and usually that is when you see boom confetti, but for some reason the truck held together. So now we see Mike going to the outside as we see the 8, the 3, and the 87. They're going to come down and pit. This is where the strategy comes in. Me and Mike are going to stay out 1 lap more than them. When you're fuel racing like this, me and Mike were both able to save a little bit more, so therefore, I mean, we could have stayed out a couple more laps, but it would have hurt us more than anything. We just wanted to stay out 1 extra lap. That way we could put as much time and space on these guys as possible, so when we came off the pit road, we were as close to being up to speed, if not already up to speed, as possible. So now we're going to come down pit road, and the strategy of the night was I was going to take inside and gave Mike the outside, which is why you see him get the run, and he's going to get down on pit road before me, is because I backed off and went to the inside. So this pit stop, I think we're taking just, I know he might be taking a windshield tear off. I'm taking just fuel only. Now, those guys right there, not for positions. We are still, right now, as we come off pit road, race leaders. So, Mike won the battle off pit road. No, it wasn't even a battle because it was just me and him. It was strategy. So, now what we've got to do is we've got to get back out on track, and we've got to get up to speed before the other 3 guys that pitted the lap before us catch up to us. Because they're going to be coming with a full head of steam. So you see the 3 and the 8 right there. The 87, I don't know what happened, if he messed up his pit stop or something, but the 87 got separated from the 3 and the 8. So right now it's going to be a 2-on-2 as It's me and Mike, and then you see Paul and Dana there, and then I don't know where Ray went. I think that might have been when Ray realized he lost the draft. So Mike's going to go high here. Let me take the bottom groove here, and Mike's going to go back to pushing. As you can see, the 8 and the 3 are getting closer and closer. And Mike still does have a little bit of damage to the nose of that truck. That might have been why he was running a little bit warm in this part of the race, but we are now 34 laps in, so we're just a little bit over a third. Paul and Dana still trying to catch us, so staying out that extra lap definitely benefited us, as we had about a 3-second, actually I think once we got up to speed on the backstretch, we had about a 6-second or more lead, but they were already up at full song. We're not. Now we are, but they leached onto the draft. But this is where you're going to see when you race open setup, this is where you're going to see how much of a difference having a good set is. So the 8 and the 3, obviously they're going to line up and they're going to try and go and make a run on the outside. But since me and Mike are hooked up, that run is going to get stalled out. So now we see the 3 and the 8, they're switching up. The 8 is going to tuck in behind the 3 here. Now they're going to back up and run single file a little bit. And then re-branch up and make a new run as they just swap positions. So now instead of Paul pushing Dana, we're going to have Dana pushing Paul. Whereas me and Mike are just doing our own thing now. You can see the run that they're getting there on the backstretch. It just seemed like every time once we got into turn 3, that run would just absolutely fall off. Now, I know for a fact I was running 10 to 1 for steering ratio. I think Mike was on a 12. But we're going to have a pretty good, we're going to stay green flag here as we've now done 2 pit stops. First one on a caution. We just completed our first green flag set of pit stops about 3 laps ago now. And usually I don't like running the bottom groove, but the truck just seemed to handle better and it had so much speed down there on that bottom groove. As you can see, I mean, Dana is pushing the dog shit out of Paul, and they're just not able to get up and clear us. I mean, they can run side by side, and they can get a nose up on the backstretch. They just can't complete the pass. And obviously, Paul's not going to strand out Dana, because then that would drop Dana back 2 spots. So they're pretty much committed to the outside. We're committed to the inside. You can see once again the run that they get. Now they've got everything working to their advantage. They've got side draft, plus they're drafting. We don't really have much of a side draft. I have to rely on Mike staying on my ass the entire race. And you see right there, the run that they had come out before, we were able to kill it. We're getting close to halfway lap. We're going to be coming to lap 40 here. Lap 46 is going to be halfway of the race, and this is kind of pretty much what you're going to be seeing for a while. I know it may be boring just watching 4 trucks battle it out, but like I said at the beginning, this is probably some of the hardest but cleanest racing that I've ever done since I joined iRacing, and it's all thanks to the guys at Cyber for Dwayne putting the league on, Paul hosting this race, the guys for just absolutely knowing how to run plate tracks, probably second to none to any other league out there that I know of, and them giving us the chance to get out of the broadcast booth and actually get on track. That time you can see Paul was actually able to lead that lap. But it's like Dana has to keep backing off. We don't know what they're running for tape. They don't know what we're running for tape. They don't know what our gearing is. They don't know anything about the shocks, the perches, the truck arms, the coils, anything. As you can see right there as we come off of 4. Once again, we smash the run. And that time we completely smashed it as both me and Mike were clear of the 3. You can kind of see it right there. It's right there on the left front of the 3, the Diehard logo that he threw up on there. So there's another killer run that they get on the backstretch. Now they're running up against the wall and drafting, but once again, they weren't able to completely clear us. So I came up a little bit just to side check Dane a little bit, like, no, you guys ain't gonna drop down, you're not gonna leach. And now is where things are gonna get a little bit more interesting because lap traffic's gonna start coming into play. I do believe that's gonna be it's either gonna be the 9. No, it's the 72 of Daniel Jackson. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. This is where the playing field gets unleveled. It won't be 2-on-2 anymore. Right now, Daniel's running the 3rd group because he can clearly see in his mirror that we're running double file here. So we should be approaching it. So we're 2 laps away from halfway. So all 4 of us clear the 72. The 72 is going to drop in behind the 8 and the 3. And since he was up to speed, I do believe he is going to be able to handle. Dana actually backs off. That's why, okay, that's what happened. Dana backs off so he can pick up the 72. That's how that happened. I was wondering what went on, because I knew all of a sudden we had no pressure on the outside, as Chad had called clear on me, so I was like, okay. But Dana actually backed up to pick up the 72. Now the 72 is going to work with the 8 and the 3. Meanwhile, I'm still punching the hole through the air. And now they're going to branch out in the backstretch, and here's where we're going to see a 3-on-2. But watch as they get the run. Dana's almost clear, but he still can't do it. As we come to the line, still almost even up with Dana. You see, I come up just a little bit off of that line to try and get a little bit of the side drive, because I know they're running a little bit higher. Try and break it to where we don't get it. But I'm dedicated to staying down on the bottom groove because that's the shortest way around the track. And you can see Mike just absolutely right up my asshole there. He stays like this the entire race, which once again, I don't understand how the hell he never blew up. Because, I mean, he was breathing it, but still. So you can obviously tell that me, Mike, Dana, and Paul have a little bit of a faster setup than the 72. But even with that, when you're in the draft, the setup really doesn't come into play as much because you've got that suction from the truck in front of you. Once again, it's the same thing going through 3 and 4. They get the run on the backstretch, but they're not able to clear me. And they don't want to ditch one of their teammates, so they stay working that top line, which so far it's not paying out for them. It's odd because usually we're used to seeing the 3 and the 8 and the 81 up front all the time. I believe we should be past halfway now. We are around lap 48. I'll go ahead and just leave that up there too. You guys can see the speed that we're running. And you can see my wheel input as well too. Go ahead and move a couple things around here. Is that like right there? So now you see the 3 had to back off. He's going to cycle back in behind the 8 again, because now they've done a switch up. Dana was getting a little bit warm, so Paul had to switch out. So now we're going to recycle it back to Dana leading the outside line, and me still holding on the inside. As now it's going to be 41 laps to go. And there's what happened, is the bump gone bad between the 3 and the 8. Which is going to bring out the caution, our second caution of the race. I do believe that is that's the last caution too. So now that we're under caution, we were close to coming down for our second set of green flag pit stops, but that right there really helped because both of them had to tow. And right now, Jackson's not on the lead lap. So right now, me and Mike were kind of a little bit giddy because me and him were the only 2 trucks on the lead lap. And I think the 72 might have got a little piece of it because for some reason he did not get the he didn't get the iRacing lucky dog. So we're kind of thinking that he might have got just clipped a little bit as we slow up for the field here on the backstretch. Well, for the pace car. So let's do a little bit of cockpit riding here. I'm kind of glad I pulled the logo a little bit out. So me and Mike are going to come down, obviously, get 4 in fuel. Well, actually, I don't know if Dad took tires this time or not. I know I took tires once. So we got to get down to that 60-mile-an-hour pit road speed limit here at Daytona. Start spotting my box, drop it down first. And there's where I overshot my box just an ass hair and had to just bring it back. So this time I am taking I think I'm taking a full service on this one. Yeah, 4 in fuel. Mike's doing the same thing. Because we know we really don't have anything to lose. Because we can see the 8 and the 3 on pit road, and with us going by them, that puts them down a lap. So right now we're on lap 52, and second caution came out, bump gone bad. The 72 right now, I think he is multiple laps down. Not sure. The way the score counter should be, he should only be 1 lap down. Let's see. Well, the reason he got that lap down was because I think he had a bad pit stop when he came down with the 3 and the 8, because that's why he was, he had lost the draft. Paul and Dana had better pit stops, so now, yep, the 72 is going to come down and pit, which will, not that it changes anything, but it's going to keep me and Mike as the race leaders. I can't remember if I'm in fuel conservation mode or not. Pretty sure we go back down again too with just before we take 1 to green. I'm pretty sure we go down and top off. So right now I'm just a little bit bored. Pacing laps do suck, so I'm gonna go see what's up with Brett Bodine here in the pace car. But I'm pretty damn sure that we are going to be coming down, coming back down, and as we see there, the 8 and the 72 and the 3 getting wave bys, which is fine. We didn't mind. So we're going to come back down. We're going to top off the tank here. This will be 2 to green, coming to 1 to green. So once we come back out off of pit road, lights on the pace car will be out. We're gonna come down one more time, take just fuel only. So we've been doing every pit stop. See us dropping in. That time I made sure I hit my box. So top off on fuel. Me and Mike are gonna come back off pit road. Still maintaining the race lead. Now I think Paul and Dana are down more than 1 lap, so they might have another wave by going on. Now I know at this point I'm clutching like a bastard. I have to be. Yep, right now I'm clutching it. There we go. We see the 8 getting another wave by. So right now I'm just getting the truck up to speed to stay on the pace car here. And oh, I remember what happened. It was a delayed green so they could get the extra wave bys in. So we're going to see the 72 and the 3 get waved by as well. Now this time we opt to stay out because I think that put Jackson on the lead lap. So yeah, Jackson's behind us. Is that Paul? No, that's Paul. Paul's gonna wave by here. So you'll see the three come screaming by. Now Paul and Dana were the ones that were more than one lap down. So when we get all lined up here, it'll be me, Mike, and Daniel for position here. As the lights are out, I'm gonna play around with the pace car a little here. Hi Brett, how you doing? Oh, there's beer cans on the floorboard. So I'm still clutching it. So those three trucks right there right now. I think now once Dana catches up, he'll be back on the lead lap. Paul should be back on the lead lap as well now. So all 5 of us that are remaining, because that's how many trucks ended up staying there, we're all gonna be on the lead lap, and it's gonna be a single file restart because of them having the wave bys. They automatically get a DTE drop to end along his line, which doesn't mean shit because once the race gets started, see Paul coming out of turn 2 right now. What lap are we on? We're on lap 55. So it'll be 40 laps to go when we take this restart here. Paul gets in line. He's going to be behind his teammate. Pace car is going to dip down. Lead us into the restart zone here. You can see we're back underway now. Now we should see the 72, the 8, and the 3 all go up a lane. So they're going to do so right there, coming off the 2. Now remember what happened the last time we had 3 on 2. They could get up to us, but they couldn't clear us. And I think a little close there with the 72. That wasn't me, that was dipping down a little bit. You see him right there, he was trying to come down, knew it wasn't clear. So that checked up the upper line, they had to slow down. That way Dana didn't run over or turn the 72. So we got 3 Chevys versus 2 Toyotas, and you can see the bumping going on there between the 3 and the 8. We're still riding pretty on the inside. Now we're going to see the switch out here. We're going to see Paul and Dana swap it out. Dana's going to get back behind Paul and push. See me giving a little bit of room there for Mike to let him breathe the truck. The 72 once again looking like he wants to drop down. He's going to do it that time, which is fine. I'm going to get up and I'm going to lay the bumper to him like I did right there. Now we gotta figure out what the hell we're gonna do to get rid of the 72 and get back out in the top dog position. were faster down the back starts that time, so that's the difference between trucks that are actually pushing versus ones that don't want to push or that are not pushing as hard. And there we go. Now we're going to switch to the top side. As right as we do that, the 3 and the 8 drop into the bottom line. So we're going to try our luck here on the outside line. See if we can do anything here. I think this is where we're going to find that the outside line is kind of like a stalemate. That was actually a really, really close lap right there. It's so hard with the way that iRacing changed the downforce package to make that outside line work efficiently. It used to be, if you weren't running the outside line, you were screwed. The inside line would just check up so much, and usually at Talladega that is the case. So now you see Paul and Dana have backed off of the 72, so that's going to let me get cleared. Mike's going to clear as well, so now we're all going to drop back in single file, and I'll retain the race lead again. Now we're going to see Paul and Dana go back out and try and make another run on the outside. I know this may look boring as hell, but it is actually a ton of fun when you're on track doing it. We start clicking laps off. We're on lap 63 now, so less than 30 to go. We will have to make one more green flag pit stop. We're gonna have to pit regardless. See right there the difference between the 8 and the 3 and the 05 and the 01. Mike glued to me through the corner. Dana backed off a little bit, about maybe a fender off of the 3. And you can see Mike is just staying glued right to the back of my truck. I give him the room there on the back stretch to breathe it. And for once we're actually going to be door to door going through 3 and 4, but that quickly goes away. As for some reason, with just us on the bottom, it's faster than being on the top. Now it's going to go back to 3 on 2. But like last time, they can get the run on the straightaways, but it's in the corner where it really matters. And you see the 8 drift a little bit high there to air out his nose to get a little bit of a run there as they come off the 2. But Mike's not even really pushing me right now. We're kind of just letting this race run its course right now. You see the 3, Paul's going to drop down in front of me. Now, that was just a block going through the corner to kill the run, so now he gets back up on the outside line. Which I don't mind throwing a block, but if you mistime it, I'm not lifting the gas and I will turn you. You can see now, me and Mike are split by the 72. So you can also see that Jackson's out there giving me a shot now. As Mike's able to lay off a little bit and cool his truck off. So that was a little bit of a strategy play on our part by letting the 72 in between us. That way he can get his temps down a little bit. Because they were, I think at that point he was starting to indicate that he was flashing every once in a while. Which is not something you want to hear when you're in the closing laps of a plate track race. So you can see me and Daniel are door to door with the 3 and the 8. Mike is gonna do the little strategy game of switching up between the lines a little bit. Break off, so that's going to give the inside run here more momentum off of turn 4. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting out here clicking the laps away, as now it's coming. There'll be 21 laps to go when we hit the stripe. So now is when we start discussing pit strategies again. Are we going to do the same thing we did last time? Are we going to let them stay out of lap? Or let them go in and we stay out of lap? What are we going to do? And that right there is some awesome side-by-side racing. The fact that we were able to stay, even though, like I said, it's only 5 trucks, the inside line at Daytona is so easy for people to mess up. The yellow line is basically cancer if you're in the corner, whereas at Talladega you can actually put the left sides on the yellows and be fine, because that's technically still part of the track. Now you can't pass below it, but at Talladega it is part of the racing surface. We should be right now at about 20 laps to go. Yep, we're exactly at 20 laps to go, and I know we were going to be short on fuel. So what we did is we let the 8 and the 3 in because I think they were going to be pitting. So I let the 3 and the 8 jump in. This is where it's really going to come down to strategy. Normally I'm not really that aggressive of a pusher, but for some reason I felt like I was obligated to, because like I had mentioned on Facebook that, oh yeah, we'll just ride around coming back, and Paul was insisting. He's like, no, you're going to race. So here comes the 72, the 8, and the 3 down pit road. Once again, me and Mike sticking to the strategy. Because we were going to pit on lap 73. So the call came right as we heard them pitting that once again, we were going to stay out that extra lap to gain the track position on them. And once again, when we come down to pit road here, I'm going to take the inside and Mike will take the outside. That way we can both get slowed down, get on pit road without incident. This is why you see him dipping up a little bit high there in the corner, because we're about to start both braking here. I'm down low. We had a synchronized shift there. We both hit pit road, and because we were door to door, I was like, screw it, I'll run down the pit stalls, that way we don't hit each other. Because that would have been bad, seeing how our pits were right next to each other. And once again, I overshoot my fucking box. So fuel's in. Mike was waiting on me to go. So here we go, we line up nose to tail again. And this time, instead of going all the way around the bottom, we're gonna get on track. So you'll see now that it's gonna be another battle of how much track position and time we have on Paul and Dana here. As right now we're looking pretty good, but you can see them coming up. So now looking at it, we're at 75. It'll be, I believe, 15. It'll be 15 to go next time by. So definitely good on fuel. We've got a good gap on the 3 and the 8 right now, but we all know that that's going to shrink. They're starting to close in on us. I think right now it's still about a 2-second gap, but they're gonna narrow it down because they are leeching onto our draft here. So we're literally just we're trying to stay as uniform as we can on the bottom groove because we know they're gonna catch us. But if everything is held true like it has so far tonight, that outside line has the speed on the backstretch, but it does not have it through the corner. It seems to stall out. I don't know if that's iRacing glitching a little bit, showing that hood damage on Mike's truck, but it doesn't matter because he's staying behind me anyway. So you see right there, now Paul's got the run with Dana. Now this is team versus team here, so me and Mike for Diehard on the inside and Paul and Dana for Southern Thunder on the outside. And this is probably about the most intense part, because this is where Mike starts staying glued to the back of my truck as much as he can. I think at this point, we might be the only 4 left. I'm not going to count the 72. He might still be there, but I'm not sure. Because now that we're going to split 3 wide because they're going to switch up again. Paul's going to assume the role of pusher here, and he's going to try to push the 8. course, what they're just doing is the same thing that you see a lot of guys do. They'll sit back, leech onto the draft behind the truck, and then coming up the corner, they'll dart to the outside to try and maximize the momentum they got with the draft. But it plays out like the race did from the beginning, that outside line just does not have anything for the inside. That, or our setup is a better inside line than it is outside. Although when it's in the draft, I think our setup's pretty damn good in either lane. Even when we were 3 wide, it was still pretty good. Now is this one that's going to come down to who can push the most without blowing up the truck. See, I get a little bit down there below the aprons. I was actually checking something. I was hitting something on my black boxes. But now we're on 10 to go here, so this is really crunch time. And you're going to see a lot more of Mike completely glued to the back of my truck from here on out because it's 10 laps to go. I gotta give Paul and Dana credit. They were trying like hell the entire race. And honestly, I still think they had a better setup than us. It's just something about when me and Mike get together that we make one hell of a plate team. Right there, I'm leaving about a half a lane open so you can breathe this truck. And then, alright, the 72 is still on track. We're actually going to be coming back up to him again. So door to door through 3 and 4. Once again, the inside line is going to prevail. Not by much. I got scored with that lap that time. So right now Mike's just backing off, letting it cool down a little bit. So you see Paul's doing the same thing. He was laying off and almost like synchronized. Both of them get up to us and start pushing again. Do 72 there. So that's what we were worried about. I was like, are we going to run into lap traffic here? Right now we do have 6 to go at the line. And we're definitely going to catch a 72, and that's exactly what we didn't want to do, because we didn't want it to be another 3-on-2 battle again. So obviously Dana and Paul are going to try and air it out up there and get as much of the draft as they can off of the 72. same time, though, he stays high, and luckily everything works out there because we're moving fast enough that we're able to squash the draft a little bit. So Daniel's staying high. He wasn't able to leech onto the draft that time, so he's going to lose it as we're under 5 to go now. And this is where the situation got almost critical for Mike, because the entire race he has been on my back bumper. So you see the 3 and the 8. Once again, I think they're doing the switch up. We're going to see Dana dropping behind the 3, and they're swapping positions, changing out pushers. Whereas me and Mike, we're just dedicated to running the same line that we've run the entire race. Now, even though this was a hosted race, and even if it was the league race and this wasn't official, it doesn't matter. This is the stuff that still makes your knuckles white. It really gets your blood pumping, and you get really amped up because it doesn't matter if it counts towards your official stats or anything. Going up against the caliber of a team like Southern Thunder and potentially being able to beat them is, it's more of an accomplishment thing. It's not like a pride thing, like a, hey, you guys suck, you just got beat by the broadcasting team. It's about the respect, because I mean, this entire race, we've been like this ever since everything got sorted out, so it just comes down to respecting each other, and obviously the 4 of us up front have car control. You see a little bit of a sideways knock there from the 8. It's 4 laps to go right now, be 3 at the line. Actually, no, it would be, I think 2 at the line. I'm not worried about it. Right now, we're just trying to hang on for dear life on that bottom groove, and Mike's in my ear telling me what his temperatures are, so we're like, ah, crap. And I believe once we got the white flag, which is 2 to green, or 2 laps to go now. Next time by, we'll be taking the white flag. His exact words were, fuck it, I'm staying on the back of you. If it blows up, it blows up. Which at that point, I didn't care if we won, if we lost. It wouldn't really matter, because I mean, we raced like hell the entire night, so I don't care where we would end up finishing, because it would have been no worse than the top 4. But at the same token, still didn't want to pass it out, so now we're on the white flag lap. If Paul and Dana have anything that they're going to try and throw at us, this is the lap they're going to have to do it. And this is the lap where Mike's temps hit 304 in the truck. I have no fucking clue how he didn't blow the truck up. This is final lap right here. You see him lock bumpers with me there. We're going to come off of turn 3 and 4 here, hopefully ahead of the 3 and the 8. And as you see the line, bam, there's the victory. After a long 90 laps. Thanks to Mike's crazy ass pushing. You can see him slowing way down, obviously, so he can pull the truck down. I'm able to bring the 01 home in victory lane. Right now, of course, we're all on the radio talking to each other in race comms. So Toyota did, in fact, come out on top, and like I said, Southern Thunder is probably one of the hardest bunch of guys to beat, especially after watching them for seasons and knowing how they run, what they're capable of doing. To actually beat them was probably one of the highlights of my time driving. So I was waiting for Mike to come back, so I decided I was going to go down around, run the pit lane cone here, as you can see. Well, you can't see it, but I can. We got Paul and Dana making their way down pit road. I'm going to dip around the traffic cone, or the pit cone here. Mike's going to start his roll and burnout. I'm going to start mine going, and unfortunately I had too much brake in the truck, so it does go around the grass, but I later get it back up on track and end up doing a nice sweet roll and burnout up here. Come on, show me it. Right there. We're going to back it up against the fence. Get some dual burnouts going. I think Mike's truck finally pukes. Mine for some reason was still good. We got Mike still burning it down. And there goes Mike's motor. So obviously I'm gonna do the Polish victory lap here. Just go up here on the fans. And you can finally hear that sound was Mike's motor finally detonating. And since he was able to roll it back down to the bottom, I was in neutral like an idiot. Both of our trucks bringing it home with the W. So that's how that race ended out right there. We were actually able to beat them. It was one hell of a race. I'd love to have a rematch anytime. And hopefully we get the same outcome, but that's going to do it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, even though it was a very low turnout for the vehicles, but it was one hell of a finish. And like I said, I had a blast running it. I want to thank Dwayne for putting the league on, Paul for throwing up the server, Jim for sponsoring the series and paying the bills for the broadcasting. Without any of those guys, none of this would be possible. But that's going to do it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.